Also a great blocker up at the net. So this is going to be a battle. The 7th seed, Spain, versus the 11th seed from Brazil.
Well, Evandro and Pedro Solberg were 5th in this competition last year. And Gavira and Herrera were 3rd here back in 2009. So neither of these two teams have won here in GSTAAD before. Spain have won the toss, opting to give Brazil service. And here is Evandro. Serve into the nets. And first point on the board for Spain. Of course, the Brazilians in their familiar green and yellow tabbed shirts. Spain in the red and yellow. Great shot from Pedro Salgado.
Pedro Salgado coming in, and then that particular line shot. He favors being a power player. He loves to hit the ball. Like I said, he likes the excitement, getting the crowd involved, but he also has that ability to tone it down at times when need be. Pablo Herrera on the left side. Pablo Herrera, real lanky, skinnier character, but I'll tell you what, he just flies up in the air. He kind of reminds me of Emmanuel Rigo from Brazil, kind of same type of body type, and he's played this game for a long time, a lot of experience. As I mentioned, a silver medalist way back in 2004.
Good play. Gavira this time putting the ball away, the Spanish number 2. And it's a break already for Spain at 3-1 here. Good start for the men in red. Herrera again with service. Over on 2 from Evandro, the tallest player on the court. As Dale has pointed out, 2 meters 11 centimeters, just over 6 feet 11. And for such a tall man, a real athletic player as well. Here he is with service. Evandro, a little kiss from the net. Good play from Brazil. Evandro put that away nicely.
Here's the issue with this Brazilian team. We haven't seen them in a Final Four since Rio de Janeiro, and that was way back in March of this year. And this is the reason why you have these 2 great players, Evandro and Pedro. They're both great blockers, so they split the responsibility. And at times you have Evandro, who's 211 centimeters, in the backcourt, 6'11", playing defense, as you see right there. And I don't know about you, Nick, but that's a difficult rotation for him to be in the backcourt and expecting him to play great defense when you have some of these defensive specialists in the back. And I think that has really cost them. They split the responsibilities, blocking and playing defense, and sometimes it can be inconsistent.
We talked about it at length at the Tour Finals at Fort Lauderdale at the end of last season, didn't we, when the Brazilians took 3rd position. We questioned whether Pedro Solberg and Evandro had got the right tactical plan, or was it the fact that the Brazilian coaches wanted different teams playing different styles to make sure at least one Brazilian duo went all the way to the final of the big major events on tour and, of course, the Olympic Games.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's just a tough pairing, you know. I think they're both great blockers. Pedro, he's 6'4", but technically is a very strong blocker. That's his specialty, not defense. Evandro, the same. 6'11", 211 centimeters. He is a blocking specialist, so no real defensive specialist on the Brazilian side, and I think that has cost him over time. It's really been a battle for them. When they came out of the Olympic qualifying process beginning, it was like, wow, this team is making a lot of noise, but they have been really quiet as of late.
That's a good point that you make. Here's the Spanish number 1, Herrera with service. Both these teams representing their countries at the forthcoming Summer Olympic Games in Rio de Janeiro. Less than 26 days to go till the start of the Summer Olympics. For many, particularly of the South American and North American teams, this is their last tournament before they take a break and then start their pre-Olympic prep. All tied up here. Here's the tall man, Evandro. What a power serve that is. Gavira puts that away with great skill.
Gavira really powering it cross court. When you give Spain a free ball situation, they're usually going to make you pay, and right there going high at the left shoulder of Evandro, cannot handle it.
Gavira float serve. Solberg with the set to Evandro. Evandro showing that he's got a nice little touch at the net as well. Running out of room, has to cut it, but does it with great style.
Nice, keeps that elbow up, contacts the ball at about 10 feet and just rolls it to the open court. And that ball clearly out of bounds. Gavira would love to have had a touch, but that's what happens when you're facing 211 centimeters in your face. It's an intimidation factor. We saw it in the first semifinal with a 6'9" Phil Dahlhauser. Hitters trying to go around him and erroring. There's the blocking signals. 1 for line, 2 for angle. He'll be blocking angle here. And the line wide open. Gavira seeing the open court and executing immediately.
Yeah, Pablo Herrera. Here he comes. Lovely. Good shot. Now Herrera again. Oh, and service errors in a semi-final, which is going to be as tight as this one. Frustrating, disappointing, and really cannot be afforded. Allows Brazil to go too clear, 9-7.
Hey, you can't be missing that serve when it's a float serve. Evandro, he's risking that serve, trying to get aces so he can miss some. But when you're float serving, as Spain did the last time, you got to keep that ball in. And right there, the serve caused that error, putting a big serve on Spain, putting some pressure, and the offense kind of falling apart. Spain is going to opt to call a timeout before this thing gets out of hand. But the Brazilians are slowly chipping away and creating some separation, up 10-7 now.
Now you're allowed to call 1 timeout per set, each team. And the main aim, particularly at this level of play, is to try and stop the flow, the focus and the rhythm of the opposing team by calling a timeout. Also an opportunity just to re-strategize. Look at this serve speed, Dane, 94 kilometers per hour. That is fast, and that stings when you try and control it.
Yeah, when Evandro goes to hit that ball, he's going for an ace. He's trying to whip it, and he hits that ball just about as hard as anybody on tour. The big knock against him is the consistency of it. Every once in a while, he will just consistently hit it into the net or out of bounds. So when it's on, really look out. When it's off, he needs to really tone it down and make sure that he's not hurting his team by missing serves. But I'll tell you what, he came out here today, and he is on. He's putting that ball in the court with a lot of velocity.
Here's the tallest man on court, Evandro, with service for Brazil. Cross court to Herrera. Herrera now on the attack. Powers that down right to the feet. And most importantly, justifies the calling of that timeout. Stops the flow of the Brazilian play. Side out for Spain, now just trailing by 2.
And this ball's hit right at Evandro. Not a lot of rotation, so he's unable to handle it.
Oh, it's a good shot, but brilliant play from Evandro to keep the ball up. Spain try and get it away again. Solberg sets for Evandro now with the power play. Brushes it off the hands of Gavira. A little bit of frustration for the Spanish there. They had 2 chances to put that ball away.
Yeah, very frustrating. When you get a free ball situation like that, you got to put it away. And give a lot of credit to Evandro laying it out. You know, I was talking about his defense. Maybe he heard me and he says, well, look at this. I can run the court just like any player in the backcourt. And then he's able to convert, hit it high off the top of the block of Gavira to end the rally.
Pedro Solberg with service for Brazil. 11-8, 3 clear of Spain's Herrera and Gavira. Here's Herrera on the attack, over the top.
Oh, net violation by Evandro on the turn. He got the ball, controlled it up in the air, Taking a look at the replay, he gets up in the air, touches the ball, then comes down and brushes the front of his shirt on the net. So great call by the bottom referee.
Yes, Patricia Waldvogel, local Swiss referee here. The Spanish certainly pretty happy that she called that point. Herrera serves. Pedro Solberg, Evandro. That is right on the backcourt line. Good play. 21 points total on the board. This is a technical timeout as part of the rule book. A breather for both teams here. But fair to say, Dane, the Brazilians just with the edge right now, not just from a points perspective, but also from a power play perspective as well.
Yeah, they're playing really well right now. They're playing consistent. And if they play consistent, they will shock a lot of people, especially come Rio in 26 days. They have not been hot, so maybe some people have taken their eye off them. You know, they've kind of fallen off the radar with some of their most recent finishes. I mean, if you look back, Ports, they got a 5th, Poland a 5th, Hamburg Major, they get a 9th, the Moscow Grand Slam, a 9th as well, so not making it to the Final Four. There's a great look at the elevation of Evandro. Wow. He hits that ball, that jump serve, and he lands about 5 feet into the court. As long as you take off outside that line, you are in good shape. But back to their record, lately, they've been quiet. So watch out. If they get hot and in the next, couple of weeks and start playing really high-level volleyball, they can beat any team in the world. It's just about consistency for this duo.
Yeah, no, you've called it perfectly, Dane. A big result here for the Brazilians would be the perfect pre-Olympic prep. They've yet to make a final this season. So here we go with Evandro. Oh, my goodness, look at that serve. Hopefully we've got our speed gun on that one as well, because that looked way over 100 kilometers per hour. Spain had nowhere to go.
94 once again. Look at that, catching it right off the right bicep. Not even time to adjust the feet. And Adrian Gavira, wish he could have that one back.
He's not done yet. He wants more. Over on 2 because Gavira struggling to contain the power serve from Evandro.
2 times in a row, that serve paying dividends for Brazil. And right now, Evandro's serve is really on point.
Oh, it's another ace! Spectacular. Dane, you called it. When they're hot, these guys blaze, and they are blazing the trail now.
Right. There's really nothing you can do. Hopefully you can pass the ball, try to slow down the momentum. You can see right now down on the court that Pablo Herrera is taking a moment to clean his glasses, trying to maybe throw off the rhythm of Evandro, but he has come out really serving bullets.
And he's mixing it up beautifully. Gavira that time, Herrera before, and it's Herrera this time. The net just takes the sting out of the serve. Oh, the Brazilians can do no wrong here. This is high-speed power play beach volleyball from Pedro Solberg and Evandro. They're loving it, and the crowd are loving it too.
I don't know what Pablo Herrera was doing. He popped that ball over, gave him a free ball, and what does Pedro do? He sets up Evandro immediately, and Evandro wants the crowd to get involved.
Look at that 5-point run, and he's looking to make it 6 with a 3rd ace. Oh, it's there! No, just a little long. I thought that was an ace. The head referee, or the first referees, had a good long look at it. The linesman kept the flag down, but the first referee from the high point viewing area called the ball out. Great little shot there from Pedro Solberg.
Really smooth shot right there, Pedro Solberg. So effective, such a versatile player.
And here is Pedro Solberg with service. Oh, he belts that right into the head of Evandro. Herrera gave that a real wallop. Wanted to give the big Brazilian a piece of his own medicine.
Yeah, look at this. That's what happens when you're a big blocker. That goes right off the front of the hat. That cannot feel good, right on top of the glasses. He might have a bruise on that forehead for a few days to come. But you know what? That's just part of the deal. When you're a big blocker, you get your head and face up over the net. It becomes very vulnerable, and at times, you just got to take it and shake it off.
Evandro sets the ball for Pedro Solberg. 18-11. Starting to stamp their authority now, Brazil, on this first set. Looking for their first big win of the 2016 season. They're already booked to represent Brazil at the forthcoming Summer Games. And this could be the perfect way to prepare both of these Brazilian players out of Rio de Janeiro. It's their hometown. Oh, a little kiss from the tape again. And Spain losing a little bit of their confidence and focus here. 19-11.
Just nowhere to go right there. Adrian Gavira trying to be a little too particular on the cut shot. Maybe the set a little close to the net, but nonetheless an error for Spain, and Brazil is completely running away with this.
Evandro floats serve to the middle of the two Spanish players. And Herrera gets a very important side out. 12 at 19, 7 behind Brazil. Only a matter of time, I'd say, before the gentlemen in the green and yellow shirts close out this first set. Gavira serves. Oh, it's a perfect set for Pedro Solberg. Oh, and their block works. I thought it was just floating out, but dropped down on the line on the Spanish court side.
That just shows you how effective Pedro can be as a blocker, pressing over the net. And this is a runaway, an 8-point edge.
Good shot.
Little roll shot cross court, but this one is just academic from here on out. Brazil just needs to receive serve, put it away one time, and very impressive first set so far by Brazil.
First set goes to Brazil, 21 points to 13. And maybe for the first time this season, we are witnessing Pedro Solberg and Evandro at full power, full speed, and absolute confidence in their play. This is the last point of the first set. Evandro finishing it off quite nicely. A despondent Spanish duo walking back to the dugout, having to re-evaluate the best plan for these guys. But Dane, for me, you're the expert, you're the former Olympic champion. I'm just the commentator here. It's the power of the play from the Brazilians in the serve and on the court that really gives the Spanish no answer.
Yeah, it's a combination of power and control that you're seeing from Brazil right now. They're not making a lot of errors, and they're being as aggressive as possible on each and every play. And there's that fine line. If you get too aggressive, you start making errors, and they didn't make any really in that first set. 21-13, an absolute beatdown in the first set. Spain's got to be thinking, what do we need to do? And I'll tell you what, they need to receive serve a little bit better. They need to figure out a way to score points. Right now, Evandro and Pedro are both receiving serve well, and they're putting the ball away. So there you see the service placement in terms of percentage. All the aces coming down the line right there for Brazil to put that ball away. And like I said, when Evandro is really on his game serving, he is the best server in the world, but the inconsistencies have really cost him. But I think he's worked that out over the last few weeks.
Set two. Spain have to win the second set to stay in the match, and it is their number two, Adrian Gavira Colado, with that service. It's another good dig from Pedro Solberg, and the Brazilians pick it up where they left off at the end of the first set. Great defense, impressive offense, and here's the big man who had that massive 6-point service run with 2 aces in it, now at the back of the court looking to serve Spain. Evandro puts the ball into play. Spain again struggling to serve receive, but that's a very good point. Well played, Herrera.
Wow. Adrian Gavira somehow got that set up at the net. Look at it, he has to go through and end up backsetting it, but it's in the perfect position. And Pablo Herrera knows exactly what to do with that one, and maybe that's the play that gets them going. You see a little emotion from Spain on that. That's what they need to kind of get out of the blocks. They haven't started playing to their potential, and that's due to the high level that Brazil has brought this morning.
Herrera with service, going down the line to Pedro Solberg. Solberg now on the attack. It's a perfect set from his teammate and puts it away nicely.
See how Pedro loves that middle seam high hit. It's so hard to defend. A lot of people try to hit cross court, and that's where the defender is. Go right down the seam, right down the middle. No one's there.
Pedro Solberg. Oh, that's just out.
Oh, they're going to challenge that because that ball was very close. So they're challenging whether that ball's in or out. Of course, we have the challenge rule. You can challenge in or out, whether the ball hits a player or not, the antenna or not, or a foot fault. And so there's the official review, and the ball is just out of bounds. So great call by the line judge. They were all over it. But you can't fault Brazil for giving it a shot. You get a couple of challenges per set. If you're unsuccessful, you lose one, so they still have one in their back pocket.
Gavira serving Pedro Solberg. The set comes from Evandro. Now the attack from Brazil. Doesn't take them off their flow at all, does it?
Not at all. That was just perfect from Pedro. You know, Pedro is such a versatile player. He's won with 5 different Brazilian players. He's also won with Casey Jennings, Kerry Walsh Jennings' husband. And he did that on an AVP event in Hermosa. And how about Evandro picking up exactly where he left off? Look at this. He jumps up into the middle of the court. That ball is just absolutely ripped. Both Gavira and Herrera, all they can do is watch.
Fantastic service. Oh, that's a little wild. Didn't quite get the connection with the hand to ball at the right time. But Brazil still with the advantage at 4-3. Spain side out, takes service, but with 7 points total on the scoreboard. A quick side switch just to make sure there's no advantage from a sunlight or wind perspective at one end or the other of the court.
Yeah, Nick, what I was mentioning is the versatility of Pedro. He's won with 5 different partners. Not a lot of players have won with 5 different partners. Make it 6 if you count Casey Jennings in an AVP event in Hermosa Beach, but he can play with pretty much anyone. And he's found himself on a fantastic partner. And they're playing, like you said, fast, furious, aggressive volleyball. They don't want to shoot the ball, they want to hit. And they're putting so much pressure. Look at that extension and the power. He bounces that ball into the first row. Wow.
Gavira sets the ball up for Herrera. Pushes the ball off the fingertips of Evandro. And again, another important side out for Spain. They have to win this second set. Try and come up with a tactic to break this Brazilian rhythm. Gavira serves. Over on 2. The block is there. Good play from Spain. Another attack from Brazil from Pedro Solberg. Oh, but as they drop off the net, the Spanish players not quite back quick enough.
Spain just not making the right decisions. And then you see right there Herrera bending over. I think he might have hurt his finger on that last play. He's grabbing his right hand, and he seems like he's in a lot of pain. We'll see if Evandro targets him.
Oh, what a great block. Well, at the beginning of this match, we questioned whether it was the right way to play, with the tall man often acting as the defense and the smaller of the 2 Brazilian players, the blocker at the net. They're making us eat our words right now.
Yeah, it's looking like a really good formula right now. Everything seems to be working for Brazil.
Oh, it's down. Is that out? Yes, I thought that could have been ace number 4 for Evandro, but just a little too long. Still with a 2-point advantage, Brazil. Spain with service.
Oh, lucky break for Brazil. So when things are going well, they really are going well. Brazil can do no wrong. Gavira in position to block that ball right there, and it looked like it might go in the court. Ends up going out. Everything right now going Brazil's way.
Pedro Solberg serving Gavira. Gavira on the attack. Nice little touch from the Spanish player, but Solberg's got it covered. And Solberg puts it away to go 4 clear for Brazil.
Wow, what a beautiful extension hit down the line. Perfect play by Pedro. He gets up and look at that little alley between the right hand of the blocker and the antenna. Not a lot of room to hit it down there, but making it look easy, making it smooth.
Pedro Solberg again going across court to Herrera. Almost there.
Almost the same exact play, but the shot a little bit better this time. It makes it to the sand. Look at Pedro. Just really going for it every single time. That's the thing as a defender, you don't want to make decisions, you just want to go. And you decide when you get there, and you will surprise yourself at times digging balls you didn't think were possible. And now, finally, something going the way of Spain. Adrian Gavira with a little jump float serve, mesmerizing Pedro as it catches him up high.
Yeah, that's the first lapse in concentration we've seen from the Brazilians in this match after taking the first set so convincingly at 21-13. Another serve to Solberg from Gavira. Revenge is sweet. Pedro Solberg up at the net with another great power play.
He loved that shot the most. Coming in from the left side, he faces his shoulders cross court, and at the last second, he snaps the ball down the line. It's called kind of a no-look hit.
Here's Evandro looking for his 4th ace of this match. Too low into the net.
Well, that's okay, though. When you're getting the amount of aces and putting Spain in trouble as much as Evandro is, it's okay to miss a couple serves. And here comes Spain roaring back. That is Pablo Herrera throwing an ace serve over at Evandro, giving him a little taste of his own medicine. Evandro's arms not in position in time, and that ball gets shanked into the 3rd row.
Herrera will feel good about this one.
A really good toss, and you see where he jumps, and he's landing maybe a foot into the court. The difference we saw with Evandro, he was landing almost 5 feet in the court when he landed. So a different type of trajectory when he contacts the ball. That's what gives Evandro such an advantage. Being 211 centimeters, he can contact that ball really high. It's almost as if you're playing defense when he is serving.
It's a smart call for the timeout by the Brazilian players. Pedro Solberg just closest to the screens wearing 1. Evandro wearing number 2 in their familiar green shirts. Just wanting to take a little breather. Try and stop this good pattern and scoring points for Spain. Now let's see if it pays dividends. Again, to the back of the court is Pablo Herrera. Oh, it's another good serve. Oh, and an error, a big error from Evandro. Spain tie the scores. The timeout didn't work the way the Brazilians had hoped.
Yeah, I didn't think that Spain had this in them, the ability to turn on this serve, but that's exactly what they need to do. Start to frustrate the Brazilians and make them a little bit uncomfortable. That's exactly what Pablo Herrera is attempting to do, and he's being successful right now.
Well, that was only just out of court. 21 points total on the board, so another timeout. This time the technical timeout is part of the rules rather than one called by either of the teams. Good serving from Pablo Herrera, good play from his teammate Adrian Gavira. On screen there. Good run of points for the Spanish duo, but we have to repeat it. They must win this second set to take it to 3 and stay in the match.
Got to really take advantage of these timeouts. It's extremely hot. It's been a long week, final day here in GSTAAD. And I'm happy to see Spain finally starting to wake up and start to play the type of volleyball that they are capable of playing.
Well, almost at the 6,000 capacity. We will be by this afternoon for the bronze medal and gold medal matches. Here's Pedro Solberg with service. Herrera on the set, Gavira on the attack. And that is a little too deep. Gavira just trying that a little bit too hard to power the ball down. The advantage goes back to Brazil by 2, and Solberg again will serve.
That's what Spain has to watch out for. Unforced errors hit out of bounds. Can't afford it.
The roll shot this time from Gavira is good. Side out for Spain.
Gavira very composed. That's the sign of a really good player. Coming right back after an error has been made and executing a nice finesse shot down the line.
Gavira with service. Cross court to Pedro Solberg. Pedro Solberg, lovely shot.
Such a deceptive player, so hard to read. Pedro Salgado has just an array of shots in his arsenal.
Trading side out to the mid part of the second set, Spain and Brazil. Great shot from Paulo Herrera.
The problem is, Nick, that Spain really made a push. They started to play really well. They had that run of aces, but they still find themselves trailing.
Herrera, again, the Spanish seem to be targeting Pedro Solberg with the majority of their serves, Dale, and I'm not sure whether it's the best way to go. Certainly mix it up, could be one of the options, or even go for Evandro. Why not?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The thing is that Pedro's such a good setter that he puts up a nice set for Evandro, and at 211 centimeters, it's kind of a scary thought. And there's another unforced error for Spain. So Spain's consistency has really plagued them here, especially in the second set. We saw a glimmer of brilliance at a time, but they weren't able to sustain it.
Again, Pedro Solberg serves short this time. There's the set ball, Gavira. Cross court. Oh, he's there on one. 16-12.
You saw the rainbow shot to the corner, and it didn't fool Pedro. Here it comes on the right side. Rainbow loopy. He extends. That's basically the only shot he has. He tries to just keep it in play, and it goes over on one. So there's Pedro Solberg really trying to pump up the crowd.
Not quite there at the net with the block, Evandro. And Spain stopped that 3-point score back-to-back for Brazil, but still in a little bit of trouble here at 13 points to 16. Gavira will serve. 13 to 17 now. That's an easy point on the board for the Brazilians. Evandro goes to the back of court. Now, does he go for his big jump serve? Or will he just float serve the ball into play?
He loves that jump serve right down the middle. And he misses that one by a few feet. You know, Evandro was voted best server on the FIVB Tour in 2015 by his peers, and you can see why.
Yeah.
He is feared when that serve is hidden.
Herrera tries to give Evandro a piece of his own medicine, but Pedro Solberg times that perfectly to go over on just 2. Maintain Brazil's 4-point advantage over Spain at 18-14. Must not forget they won the first 21-13. They're getting closer and closer to the big match point.
Spain's pretty much tried everything. They've really whipped up the serve. There's just not a lot of opportunities that the Brazilians are giving up points. Big
shot
hit
from
by
Gavira.
Gavira there. Wow, just challenging. That time, instead of trying to go around the defender in the backcourt, going right at Pedro Solberg, and too much power. Sometimes you just got to go for the extra heat.
And Gavira with the service way too long. And as our Olympic champion from the 2000 Games of Sydney has pointed out, just one too many forced errors from the Spanish that has possibly been one of the key factors to allowing Brazil to dominate this second semi-final. There's a good serve from Evandro. Herrera on the attack. Cross court, puts it away nicely.
Herrera with a big hit. Cross court, trying to get the momentum to swing back his way, 1 point at a time, but it might be just a little too late. 105 kilometers per hour on that winner, that big hit on the left side. Wow, triple digits.
Over 60 miles per hour on the ball. Another service error from Spain gives Brazil match ball. We've already talked about the forced errors from the Spanish. Maybe talked about it enough now, because here's Brazil looking to wrap this up, 2-0.
Smart shot. Adrian Gavira on the right side, puts it away. 17-20. Now Brazil will have multiple match points.
Oh, great block at the net.
Nice last-minute move. He sees that he's going on 2. Instead of going cross-court, he goes to block back down the line. Beautiful block by Pablo Herrera.
And his teammate, Adrian Gavira, looking to stop the Brazilians wrapping up this semi-final. Pedro Solberg up at the net. There it is. It is all over. Brazil will go against the United States of America in the final of the GSTAAD Major here in Switzerland. And Spain will go up against Latvia in the clash for the bronze medal. But that was very, very good from the Brazilians. Possibly the best semi-final we've seen from them on the 2016 tour. And they're in the final for the first time this season, with the Olympic Games less than a month away.
Yeah, Nick, really great semifinals, and two teams that absolutely were on fire. The United States, Nick Lucena and Phil Dahl.